Hello, everybody. I am your host, Exhibit A, wishing you a very happy Menhera Monday. Welcome, everyone, to the weekly Menhera Monday stream. The stream where dreams come true and lives are saved. Just last week, I saved a dying child from the river, thanks to you watching this. And it can happen again if you keep watching. Hello, Bubbly Shay. Hello, Spider Guy. Hello, Toy Box. Hello, Salad. Yeah, hello, everybody. Yeah, so I'm here today. I've Exhibit as a bleep now. Yeah, I do. And you know what? And you know, I'm still feeling okay. The stream, I don't feel the need to like delay the stream or anything. I kind of warned everybody. Warned everybody that it might be late or delayed or even cancelled, or I canceled the stream. But no need for that. Pretty easy first day, just introductory stuff. Might get more stressful as time goes on, but you know, we're making do. But yeah. It's nice to see you all. You know, Salad, you're talking about how I have a bleep now, but haven't you had one for like the past while? Isn't that like the reason you miss streams? It's because you got one of those. I don't know. Those who live in glass houses shouldn't throw stones, as they say. Hello, Kleb. Welcome. Hello, Daniel. Would you work? Please give us the exact address as well as employee number. Yeah, sure. I'll get it to you after stream. Okay, so this don't know what you're talking about. Hello, TDO. Welcome. About a month to live. Out rewatch Beavis and Butthead. Fair enough. Is it bad, the censored word? No, they're censoring the word J-O-B. We censor that word because some people who don't want to get a J-O-B are very I don't know, they're just they don't, you know, it's a trigger word because they're unemployed and it's a stressful concept, you know, to have to get that. So we're simply being respectful. For trigger warning next time. I only spelled it out. Oh, I guess even that is too much for unemployed folk. My bad. Yeah, now you get it. Also, hello, Peachy. I just realized I didn't actually go out of my way to say hello. Like, I saw you and I acknowledged you, and I didn't do it out loud. Welcome, Peachy. Some people just say Peachy and Spider. Alright. So yeah, I'm gonna need to replace the music. Hates me, guys? No, not true. Not true. Okay. What music to put on this time? What did I put on last time? Is there... Alright. Oh, what did I put on last time? I don't remember. Put on Valhalla music again, the Cyberpunk. Or last time we put on freaking jazz music, that's what we did. Anyway, we're... Yeah. Alright, wait, you guys probably can't hear. Here we go. Wait, let me just test that. Yeah, okay, wait. Okay, I'm turning on the audio. Guys, let me know if that is, like, too loud or too quiet. Yeah. I'm trying to donate plasma just so I don't have to get a yeah. Yeah, Peachy's over here just wanting to frickin' be a reverse vampire instead of getting a job. And just, like, just sell her blood. And earn an income that way. That's basically her plan. Hello, Utopia. Welcome. An oil drum full of blood is worth a bajillion USD, yeah. 20,000. That's a lot. Yeah, I mean, people need the blood, so they give you money for it. And like where I live, you can't get money for donating blood, which disappointed me because I was thinking I could get on that action too and like get like easy money. But they don't pay you for it here. They just want you to do it for free. Which, you know, a lot of people are willing to do it for free because they're like nice people. But then like I feel like you're getting less donations in that case. I understand like some of the reasons why they don't do it though. Like some people, a lot of governments and people consider it like unethical because you're kind of when you put a price on the blood, people kind of feel like pressured to do it sometimes if they're in like hard times, and so you get into dubious territory where people who are in like financial struggles like feel like they have to like sell their body, for lack of a better term, in that sense. But you know, but like, and then I don't know. There's ethical concerns with like allowing people to like sell their blood, but at the same time, it's like if you want to get as much blood as possible, I feel like, you know, if you pay people, you get more of it. So I think that makes sense personally. Or plasma, blood plasma, whatever, you know, interchangeable to me. So how's your first day? It went pretty well actually. Pretty simple stuff today. Introductions and stuff. Just teaching us things. Oh, you gotta go, Sarah? Alright, see you around. Glad you could stop by. Yo, Sarah's at work. Oh man. Imagine going to work. Ah. Alright, so blood plasma, what's the difference? It all tastes the same. Real. Yummy, yummy. Some choose the sperm bank. Now that does not taste the same, I can tell you that. That's the thing, you can get a lot of money from donating sperm, right? But then, the question is, do you really want all of your do you really want all of your children out there, just in the world? I think they sometimes disallow you from donating too many times, because then apparently it's because the chance of incest gets too high, and you know, then people will like end up meeting people related to them without knowing it, and they're like, they don't want to let that happen. I don't get what all the big deal is though. I think that, like, you know, just I wouldn't, you know, whatever, man, whatever. You know, if they I don't, you know, if it happens, it happens, you know. If it happens, I mean, I'm joking. I understand that's not what people want. You wouldn't like it if you like met someone and then you found out after you'd started dating them that actually related it, you know. That'd be really awkward. Not for me, I wouldn't mind. I'd actually love that, but I know most people would hate that, so like I get it. You know. Like I can't imagine how like how horrible that must feel for some people, and like they feel like, you know, now they're like they have this relationship that was very valuable to them, but and now they break up because, like, even though it was important to them, because it just feels too weird. Some This movie where a sperm donator had like 1,000 children or something. Some of them ended up dating. Yeah. I don't know, except I prefer that actually. Yeah, this is what I said. Sibling relationship, the most fun, especially if they're blood related. I mean, I think that. I think most people would find it strange and be uncomfortable. And now I'd be like, oh, lucky me. Hit the jackpot. I already thought you were hot, but now you're my sister? Holy crap. You know? Like, it just keeps getting better. I don't know, I think, you know, majority of people are just, you know... Majority of people aren't as based as me, so it is what it is. There's a couple that found out they were half-siblings when they told their parents about their upcoming marriage. That must be so awkward. They moved somewhere Europe-y where it was legal to still get married. Damn. There's been a few fertility doctors that's used their own genetic material for patients instead of the material from the intended men. Oh yeah, there's that has happened before where they're like, I don't know why they do it. Is it like because they're perverted or something? They don't tell the patient, but like they use their own sperm instead. You know, it's kind of weird. The final Terra on your list. You hot, my sister, and like sounding. I don't like sounding. That's a bit. Unlike all the other fucked up shit that I admit to liking, that one is not real. That was not one of them. Exhibit when he has a long lost sibling, but it's a buff 6-foot white dude named Maximo. Yeah. Well, I mean, maybe if he puts on a dress, he looks girly enough. I don't know. Let me find out. What's sounding? Shay, no. 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 You don't want to know. You don't want to know. Kind of weird, yeah. Non-consensually impregnating people is a little quirky. It is pretty quirky, yeah. Like, what the hell, a quirky behavior out here, man. Some quirky ass fucking doctors. Let's put exhibit in a dress. DS style. No, I do not. Salad. It is very bad, Shay. It is very bad. I don't think you're gonna like what you find if you decide to look into what that is. But you know, if you really want to, there's always Google. I should actually start to read through the answers now. Whoops. Here we go. Alright. This week's question is, what would you do if you had a month left to live? When people find out they're going to die, they often get hopeless. But for others, it does the opposite, and spurs them to make the most of the time they have left and live it to the fullest. Which one are you? And what activities would you try to squeeze in before time runs out? Let's start reading the answers. Okay. First one. What would you do with your final month? Spoil my favorite people. Written by Shay. Wow. Yeah, you guys would be getting spoiled, huh? Because I'm pretty sure Shay's talked about how much she likes all of you. So I think It's if you insist to Google it, we can't keep having this conversation every Monday. Yeah, that keeps coming up. Yeah, that's you. Alright, but yeah, yeah. Hopefully you spoil me a bit too. I wouldn't mind getting spoiled, you know? Change the subject when you bring up this sounding fetish. Nah. It's your imagination. Alright. By the way. So from now on, I'll probably do my Menhera Mondays slightly faster than in the past. Instead of just dwelling on things really long. Because, you know, I want to have more time, like, before and after stream to, like, do other things with my day after I've been, like, working and stuff. So, there was that, just to keep in mind. But I'll still be putting a lot into my streams. I'll probably just, like, not... I'll probably move from question to question slightly faster. Alright. Speaking things as long as he hates us? No. I'm your favorite person too? Aww. Yeah, please do spoil me. I'd love that. Yeah. No, he wants slow Menhera. Don't be fast like Moxie. What does Moxie do fast at? Is it jerking off or something? I know he does that on stream sometimes. It's kind of his thing. But yeah. Being spoiled? Yes! Hell yeah. Awesome. Alright, next answer. What would you do with your final month? Spend everything on prostitutes, and write down everything my mind can produce as something my parents and friends can read if they miss me. Written by Wujime, which many of you know as Tedia. Yeah, well... Listen, I mean... I guess... I suppose if it's, yeah... it's not, like, wrong to, like, hire prostitutes. As long as they're, like, not, coerced into it or something. But, like... Yeah... You should maybe do some other things, too, right? Like, you know, do some other things as well, you know? Do some things of, like, a non-prostitute nature, you know? Maybe do a fun hobby, do a fun activity, roll on the roller coaster, travel to countries, see cool things, you know? I don't know. But hey, it's your funeral, literally. We can't move past that, hello. Hey, if the man wants to get laid. Yeah, I mean... I wrote another thing, you were focusing on that, lol. Yeah, that's true, you wrote write something for your friends and family. But yeah, I mean... I meant in terms of having, like, other, like, fun activities. You know, like, other thrills. But I mean... If it works, it works. If you think that's, you know, what you would enjoy the most. In a world where we need, everyone's just censoring jobs now, permanently. In a world where we need jobs to live, anything a person does for money is potentially coerced. Yeah, I mean, that is the thing, right? It's like, some people make the argument that, like, all forms of work are inherently unethical. because people do it under coercion. It's like if you don't do it, you fucking die of starvation and go homeless. And so it's basically like all jobs are like slavery in that perspective, right? Yeah, I don't know, I mean, it's like there's some. Are you getting enough rest? Yeah, I just had a day of doing stuff. Is it really showing that much? Yeah, so like... What was I saying? Yeah, I guess from a... I agree slightly. To some degree. Right? When it comes to like... Getting... Like, how job, you know, like, it's slightly coercive in the sense where if you get a job, you know, but, like, also, it's kind of complicated, because you've got a lot of... Okay, here's the thing, right? I once heard a certain someone give this as, like, an argument as to why, like, capitalism is bad. Alright? And I'm just gonna repeat what he said. And I don't agree with it, but, like, I'm gonna repeat what he said so we can talk about it. So what he said was, imagine that you washed up on an island, and now you're stuck there, and you can't do nothing, and you need food. But then when you go to look for food, you find that someone has gone and taken all of the coconuts, and they have all been monopolized. And they've all been monopolized by one person. And you go up to that person, you're like, can I have some of the coconuts? So that I don't starve to death. And he's like, sure, but you have to suck my dick. And so... and then, you know, the argument is that, okay, is that ethical? If you're living in a society where in order to, you know, yes, it's your choice to do the thing for them, but you're doing it because it's the only way to get what you need to survive. And so that's their argument against capitalism as a whole. It's like anytime, you know, you're forced to like work or whatever to get what you need. But the reason why that analogy is inaccurate. The reason why that analogy is inaccurate is because the reality, a more accurate analogy would be, you get washed up on an island, and actually, there's a whole bunch of different people who have coconuts. And you need to... And you can choose between different things, right? You can either get the coconuts from the one weirdo who wants you to, wants you to, like, slobber on him. Or you can get the coconuts from someone else who just wants you to sweep the floor. And then you can get coconuts. And it's like, you got different choices. Now, it's even more complicated than that, because of course, in the real world, sometimes you're very limited as to what jobs you can get. And sometimes you can't always get the job that you want. Sometimes you have a bunch of, like, unpleasant choices. You can choose whose dick to suck. Exactly. So it's not as bad as that original example, right? It's more complicated than that. There's more that goes into it. So at the end of the day, there's something kind of coercive about it. But at the same time, it's like, okay, you get washed up on that island. It's like, you know, it's just whitewashing capitalism. Yeah, I mean, it's still a little bit, there's still, even with that, like, amount of choice, there's, like, you know, you don't necessarily have the choice of working for anyone. It's like, you can't always, it's complicated. So, I mean, yeah, I don't know. Have I even said anything of importance? I've just kind of gone in a circle. But yeah, anyway. If I disappear, it's because the monsters in this terrible world of being employed got me. Damn. Yeah, it's weird. But anyway. Everyone deserves to have some coconuts. You know? Everyone deserves to have some coconuts. But, yeah. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what else to say. I can't solve economics. I can't solve capitalism. You've done pretty well, and I fucking love you that you brought up that thing. Really? The whole thing of the coconuts? But yeah. Alright. Anyway, I started this conversation because Wuchime talking about wanting prostitutes. So it's like, here's the thing, right? You can argue that, like, prostitution is, like, inherently coercive or something. But, like, it is only this coercive to the same degree that regular jobs are. So if you think that, like, you're not a bad person for, like, making people work, or, like, you're not a bad person for, like, benefiting from someone else's labor, you know, you're also not a bad person for, like, hiring a prostitute, right? Because, like, it's the same thing. There is a slight difference, obviously, because, like, there's different implications when, like, sexuality is involved. But, like, at the end of the day, it's like, you know, someone is providing a service for something in return, and if there's factors at play that are making them do that, you know, maybe that makes it more or less dubious, but at the end of the day, it's pretty similar to, like, if you're doing that for the sake of, like, you know, if you're, like, breaking your back, sweeping floors all day, or, like, carrying coal, you know, you're sacrificing your time and your own body to do those things. You know? It's like, it's complicated, because, I don't know. I don't know. It's complicated. As long as we don't have the money to buy our freedom or are lucky in another way, the question we must ask ourselves each morning is, will I suck the coconut man's dick? Yeah, exactly. What I said is that it's potentially coercive, so that's something to be considered. People who can do sex work and be fine with it. Sadly, the reality is probably that the majority of people don't. Yeah, it's, yeah, I don't know. I suppose that applies to prostitution, but I would say it probably doesn't apply to, like, making porn. Because I feel like the majority of people who make porn aren't doing it because it's literally their only option. I think some people do it because they see it as like, oh, you know, this will be like easy money. Even though it's kind of not, so they kind of get tricked. It's not easy money. You still need to put a lot of work into, like, marketing your stuff and getting people to see it and choose it over all the other content. But, you know, I don't get the impression that people do porn because it's their only option. I think a lot of people do it because, like, they're like, ooh, I think I could get big bucks from this. I could, you know. And some people genuinely do porn because they just want to. Like the amateur, like people like who draw it for fun, or like amateurs who just aren't professional and they just do it because they feel like it. But then, yeah. I got a master's in marketing, so I can do OnlyFans. Yeah, I mean, probably this, but unironically, because I think that would, one is a common reason, especially in the horrors of DeviantArt. Yeah, so what I would say is that if you're good at something, and then you can channel that into something sexual, then you will get more attention than if you're not. Right? So if you're an artist and you're good at making art, then yeah, you're gonna make a lot more money from doing sexual art than for doing, like, safe-for-work art. But it's not the case that being an OnlyFans star will just make you rich quickly. You will probably make a living wage with it. You will probably make enough money to not need a different job at the same time. But people sort of believe in this idea that doing OnlyFans is an easy way to just get mega, mega rich instantly. That's not actually true. The people who get really, really mega rich off of OnlyFans are actually just a small percentage of the people who do OnlyFans. And companies like OnlyFans and porn companies and all that have done a really good job of, like, putting out propaganda that sort of tricks people into believing that it is, like, an easy way to get rich. They're like, oh, look, this is your ticket to getting rich quickly. This is like, oh, And then everyone believes it now, because that's all people talk about. They're like, oh, these guys are like, oh man, if I was a woman, I would just be doing OnlyFans and I get rich so easily. Oh my god, it would be so... And it's like, it's true, you probably earn a living wage from it, but you're not going to get rich, right? Not unless you're really good at it and you pass all of your competition and, you know, you work extra hard. It was originally meant to be a wholesome website to interact with close fans, but it now has no censor or anything, and so it's mostly porn now. Yeah, that's true, and that's why that's why at one point they tried to like get rid of the porn stuff, and they were like, no, actually, we're trying to go back to our roots. We're getting rid of the porn, and then they realized, okay, that literally gets rid of all of their users, and so they're like, okay, fine, we'll be the porn site, and so they reluctantly took that. They're good at covering it up mostly. Yeah, exactly. So, like, it's sort of a dangerous myth that's perpetuated, you know, and people are like, you know, oh, you know, OnlyFans isn't ideal, but if it makes me that much money, then I guess I'll do it, you know? Like, a little bit of doing something that makes me a bit uncomfortable is worth it if it gets me that much return. Then those people are tricked, and then it doesn't go. Doesn't, you know, it gets them enough to live off, but it doesn't give them what they were promised. It doesn't give them all the riches that they were looking for. And, you know, that's not a good thing. I absolutely think, you know, willingly doing stuff like porn is totally cool. But you need to know what you're getting into. You need to know that it's not just a get-rich-quick scheme. You can get rich off of it if you're, like, you surpass all of your competition, but it's not like an easy thing, right? That's sort of just a myth that everyone has been kind of fooled into believing. You could honestly make... You could probably make more money off of doing, like... Yeah, like... Well, okay, I don't know. Anyway. You could even live off of it. It's better for extra fun money. What I mean when I say, like, you can live off the money you do for OnlyFans is that if you spend lots of time doing the marketing and you sort of make that your full-time job, and you're, like, constantly, like, working on the marketing, working on, like, how you present it, like, you know, taking your photos multiple times and, like, perfecting it and making sure you take it from the right angle, doing all these little things, maybe, you know, hiring someone to, like, reply to all of your freaking, all the people who are, like, subscribed to the OnlyFans, you know, or... I mean, if you either you reply to them yourself and give them that, like, parasocial, like that parasocial hit where they feel like they're talking to you and they feel, well, whatever, or you hire someone else to do it, which is often what they do, actually. A lot of the reasons why people like OnlyFans so much and choose that over regular porn sites is because there's the parasocial element where you actually get to talk with the porn star and you get to interact, and it feels like they're having an interaction. But a lot of the time, they're hiring someone else to do that for them, so you're actually probably just talking to some, like, random dude. You're probably talking to her boyfriend. So, that's what's really going on. So, if you're putting all of that work in, then yeah, you're going to earn, like, a living wage, yeah. But if you're just uploading images and nothing else, and then not putting any, like, actual work in, yeah, you're probably not going to make a living wage. But that just adds to the point, right? A lot of people do think, they're like, oh, I just upload some images and then I'll get rich, or I'll earn a living from that. And it's like, no, you got to put in a lot of work, and then you'll just earn a living wage. You'll get rich, you know. Drawing furry porn is the big earner. Yeah, I think that's probably where the bucks are. I think a large portion of OnlyFans creators that make tons of money already had an online presence prior to their adult content. Yeah, I mean, that really helps. So if you already have a presence online, obviously that you can just promote your OnlyFans to that fan base, and that'll be a lot easier. Yeah. Yeah. Exhibit actually pays the entire living wage of the top 1% of OnlyFans creators. That's true. You exposed me. I've seen the depths of humanity since. So wait, we are not talking to you when we write you from OnlyFans after seeing your porno? No, that one's really me. That one's really me, definitely. Don't everyone subscribe to my OnlyFans, please. Alright, next question. Next answer. What you would do with your final month? Cock. I would enjoy all the cock in the world for the final month, whilst I make everyone obedient to my power. Written by Zana. Bro. Bro, Zana. Zana's fucking cock hungry right now. What the hell? You're gonna enjoy all the cock in the world? That's a lot. That's a lot of cock in the... Do you have any idea how many cocks there are in the world? There's a lot of them. There's like at least 4 billion of them. So good luck. But, you know, if that's what you want to enjoy in your final month, all the more power to you. Can't blame you. Next answer. What would you do with your final month? Going to Super Nintendo World with friends and family. Mainly have fun with them. Written by Pop-Tart Snake. A second. Yeah, Super Nintendo World. Oh, wait, that's a place? I didn't know about that. What's Super Nintendo World like? I didn't fucking know about this. Super Nintendo World. It's, let's take a look. Super Nintendo World. Yeah, see, or is this like a really recent thing that they've just opened? Or that they're going to open? Yeah, I guess that'd explain why I haven't heard of it. But this could be really cool. Looks nice. Is this all in real life? That's not real life, that's a cartoon Mario. Okay, none of this looks like it's in real life. This all looks like animation, like it was... Okay. This is real. Cool. That definitely would be awesome. I definitely want to go to some fucking theme parks and shit if I was gonna die. That'd be fun. I haven't been to like a proper theme park before. I've never been to like Disneyland or Disney World or Orlando or Universal Studios. Never been to any of that. I'd love to try it because that'd be fun. Someday. Hope it's okay for me to say this, but Exhibit is really cute when he closes his eyes and moves around. Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you. I don't mind at all. It's not harassment. What are you guys talking about? Or did you say something else that I missed? Oh, Daniel's making references. Okay. I see, I see. So I've never been on a roller coaster and now I can't because pacemakers. Ah, fuck. I guess you're a bit bummed about that because you're not... Probably not gonna, like, get another chance. But yeah, I do want to try theme parks. And, like, the proper ones, the big ones. The only thing that I wouldn't like is that apparently, you know, their lines are super duper long when it comes to, like, the Disney World and stuff. But yeah, a lot of cool stuff. Yeah, I think Universal Studios would maybe be more interesting to me because there's a lot more, like... There's a lot of franchises that I would probably like to see from there. You know, they got a lot of... Yeah. You get a lot of stuff themed after all the different, like, movies and stuff I've seen. It would feel like I'm actually on the set. Feel very magical. Alright, next answer. What would you do with your final month? I would travel the world, first to Canada, then France, Austria, as I'm part Austrian, and finally Iceland. And just enjoy every last moment of life. Written by Zana. Yeah, fair enough. I think traveling is a very good thing to do, and that's what I'd want to do. I'd want to see the world, you know? I haven't seen enough of the world. I'd want to go see it before I die, you know? I want to see this world before I leave it. That makes sense. I was dining. Missed anything good? Oh, we looked at Nintendo World. The theme park, or just part of Universal Studios at least, I think. Yeah, you know, place to go if you're a Nintendo fan. That could be super cool. But yeah, all very cool. What was I? Yeah, let's move back to the... let's move back to the room. Okay. Yeah, traveling is very much something I'd want to do. What will you do with your final month? Hang out with my family, let my friends know that I love them, and that when they see a cat or dog during their time outside, that's me. I'll send a cat through the cat-dog distribution system to watch over them for me, and to watch their back because I'll probably raid their fridge as a ghost, written by Riku. Raid their fridge as a ghost? Can ghosts eat? They do that? Can they digest things? Do they get hungry? If they do, that has a lot of implications, like, ghosts have to fucking eat to survive, otherwise they, like, die again. Like, how do they do that? What can they eat? Do they just need to take human food from people? That'd be annoying to deal with, I feel like. Jesus. But yeah, a lot of people do say, like, oh, you know, like, stuff like, oh, if an animal greets you, oh, that's actually my, like, dead relative or whatever coming to visit me. I've heard people say stuff like that. And, you know, I guess some of that's to do with, like, reincarnation, but then some of it is also just like, oh, you know, that's how they're appearing to you. They're just appearing to you in, like, a form that doesn't look unnatural. Exhibit has said being his fan is good as diagnosis for the tism. Yeah, it is. Genuinely, I don't think there's a single person who watches me that doesn't have autism. That's like... It is just... I just appeal. Wait, no, am I too late? You kinda missed yours, Zana, but I just read yours, and I just talked about how I would, like, also really like to travel the world, because, you know, I think that's a good thing to want to do before you die. So I was just agreeing with you. Near reincarnation mentioned? What? At the door, he gives people a choice of a beer or a Rubik's Cube. If they don't take the cube, they're rejected. Didn't see the time. Yeah, I mean, there was a chance this was going to be delayed anyway, but I ended up not delaying the stream or anything because I felt up to streaming, so. You appeal to the neurodivergent people. Yeah, I really do. It's something about me. Something about me. What would you do with your final month? Completely emancipate myself from all family, take out huge loans, and live like a celebrity for the whole month, doing everything I ever wanted to do, knowing when I die, none of my near-crippling debt would burden my family after my death. Written by Tonka T. Thomas. Or Thomas in brackets. Yeah, right, interesting. Because emancipate myself from all family. I feel like most people would say the opposite. They're like, oh, I'd spend time with my family. The opposite. You'd separate from your family. You'd stay away from them because you want to live life to the fullest on your own. And I gotta be real, I'm kinda with you on that. Simply because I feel a little bit restricted by my family. I feel like I'm not on terms with them that I would rather be on. So would feel more free. It'd feel suffocating spending my last month with them. With all the limitations they might give, with all the freaking ways that they are. You know, being on my own might feel more free. I'd be allowed to do more, whatever I want, you know. So, like, yeah, I understand that. No, I would. What I wouldn't do is avoid my friends, though. You know. I'd travel the world and meet my online friends in all the different places, probably. But like taking out huge loans, that's a good idea. Because then, you know, you don't need to pay it back. You're gonna be gone. Who are they gonna send the bill to? The devil? And then you can live like a celebrity and live awesome. So, I mean, that's just pretty... makes sense. Yeah. Maybe you're a magnet for neurodivergent people. Yes, guess I am. Okay, next one. What would you do with your final month? Probably find a guy I like. Not a random guy, though, in brackets. So we can... Right. So we can do a one-night stand with. That way I don't die a virgin, Lamau. Written by Tess. This one's surprising. I didn't think she was the type to be interested in like a one-night stand. But she tried to specify. She wants to find a guy that she likes, not a random guy. It needs to be someone she likes. That she can do a one-night stand with. So that she doesn't die a virgin. Understandable. I respect that. Yeah. But yeah, even though it's a one-night stand, she still wants it to be someone that she likes. So that's a little different to like someone just being like, oh, I just want to fuck anyone that looks hot. You know, he's got slightly different standards in mind here. For 1 second I thought it was going to be cute. Nope. Yeah, I don't know. Tess is freakier than I thought. She's getting freakier as the freaking weeks go on. Maybe it's because of me. Maybe I'm a bad influence. Or should I say good influence? Why is everyone getting their freak on? In fairness, that is one of... I mean, if you're gonna fucking die, if you're gonna die, you might as well. Right? You might as well fuck. You're gonna die, so fuck. It makes sense. It makes sense. That's what I'd want to do. That's what I'd want to do. You impeach your influences. Yeah, definitely. Knowing that you have 1 month to live lifts inhibitions, I guess. I mean, yes, it does. That's also why people, a lot of the time, when they know they're... You know, you see those movies where the world's gonna end and suddenly people start doing, like, lots of horrible stuff. Like, they start killing people and, like, doing whatever they want to people. And so that's probably how some people would react, too. They know they're gonna die. But... I don't think there's anything, like, wrong about wanting to find someone to fuck. That's, like, not... That's normal. To want to do that in that situation. Yeah. Well, welcome back, Sarah. Owie, my stomach. What the heck? Alright, let's see. What would you do with your final month? If someone told me right now that I have a month to live, I'm taking everything out of savings, so like 500 bucks, I'm poor, I know. And I'm just trying to spend it with family and friends. Maybe go get some dinner, go to amusement parks, etc. I'm not working at all anymore, and maybe like my last week I'm smoking a shit ton of weed and getting blackout drunk. Then I'm writing my will. Spider gets the Attack on Titan collection. An Exhibit gets my life-sized Peachy Angelic Fuda doll. Fully adjustable, by the way. Written by Salad. Yes! Thank you! I get the Peachy Angelic Fuda doll! Yes! Yes! Thank you. Holy shit. Holy crap. That's so cool. Alright. Yeah. No, makes sense. But yeah, you want to spend time with your family and friends. You have family that you actually get along with. And then yeah, Just enjoying yourself, getting nice food, going to any parks you want to be at. Sounds like a plan. Sounds like a plan. You are such a kind person, Salad. Giving me the peachy fooded doll. I've always been jealous of you for having that, to be honest. Fully adjustable, too. Yeah, smoking a ton of weed and getting blackout drunk, that's also very real, because, like, why not? Why not do that? There's no negative effects. You're gonna be dead. But then at that point, like, one thing I wonder is that, like, if I knew I was gonna die, would I, like, take harder drugs? Would I, like, take cocaine and stuff? If you think about it, the reason those things are bad is because it affects you negatively long term. If you're gonna die, then why not do it, you know? But then, I don't know, maybe that would make your life worse whenever you're not high, so maybe you don't want to do that. So I'm not sure what I'd do in that situation. Because, you know, you take the drug, you'll feel, like, amazing for a little while it's active. And, you know, that'll be an experience that'll maybe partially make up for all the years you're losing. You know? So, I don't know. I'm gonna need to get going since I need to play my Otome game, so see you guys. Bye-bye, Shay. Thanks for stopping by. What a good influence exhibit. I know. To be fair, cocaine meth is kind of worthless. A really good anime hits a lot harder. You think so? I thought cocaine was, like, really strong in how it feels. Have you had cocaine before? I feel like you wouldn't know that unless you're speaking from experience, Daniel. I get high and drunk to forget, bro. I think I'd be having a bunch of anxiety and freak out. Yeah, I guess so. You'd be so freaked out about dying. But then anytime you sober up, it's like you just feel shit again. So that probably wouldn't be a good thing to do in that case, because then you just feel worse. Compliment, you guys are really amazing and cute. Yes, this is true. We are really amazing and cute. We are very cute. Thanks for noticing. Next answer. What will you do with your final month? Watch Fortnite porn and get really drunk and high is my real answer, written by Salad. Salad. What the fuck? Watch Fortnite porn and get really drunk and high. I mean, part of that is the same as what you wrote before. Just added to Fortnite porn. Alright, next one. My life motto is Philippians 1:21. For to me to live is Christ, and to die is gain. So I would for sure do things right and live under God's purpose for me on my last days. Also, I think I would travel to at least 2 countries that I want to visit the most, and spend the rest of my time of my life with my beloved ones, leaving beautiful memories and hopefully a positive impact on their lives, so that they won't forget. Also, I'd make sure to leave my beloved bunny in good hands. Only thing I would regret is I've kind of developed some level of philophobia, but is it philophobia? But deep down, what is philophobia? I'm assuming it's a phobia of, like, falling in love, right? Yeah, fear of love, okay. So philophobia is fear of love. I've kind of developed some level of philophobia, but deep down I know I do want to have a soulmate and live a beautiful romance. I've all my life rejected guys, cause it just doesn't feel like they're the right person, and even when I've met amazing guys, something has stopped me from saying yes. I've just waited for the right person, and it would be kind of disappointing if such person didn't exist. It's not like I want someone perfect, cause such a thing doesn't exist, just someone right for me. Written by Sarah. Yeah, let me see. Yeah, I suppose you feel like you'd love to spend your last days with someone that you love, with like a romantic partner, but you've also avoided that all your life because you're afraid of love. So I guess that's your predicament, I suppose. But, you know, who knows, maybe in your final days you would find someone to date you. You'd be like, you can go on Tinder and be like, yo, guys, I'm gonna be a dead motherfucker in like frickin' 30 days. Anyone wanna? Anyone? I'll be gone. No consequences. I'll be dead. You know. No need to use birth control. No need to use birth control, cause there's not nothing's gonna be there. You know, but like, you know, I guess you wouldn't want that. You want like actual love. But anyway, yeah, I don't know. Maybe you never know. Maybe you'd find love in your final days. Might be tough, but I don't know. Guess it's and traveling is also a solid option. A lot of us want to travel before we die. No need to use birth control. Yeah. Jesus exhibit. Perfect for the breeding kink. Yeah. If I was a girl for a day, I'd let my guy friends hit ass answers. I don't think that's really how she answered. That's just how I twisted it. She quotes the Bible and y'all do this to her. Yeah, listen, we're not holding back. But yeah, yeah. I do think it's good to be open to love. And it makes sense to be afraid that someone isn't the right person. That makes sense. And it's a very logical fear. It's a very logical fear because most people, when they date people throughout their life, the majority of the people they date are not the right person. And maybe they find the right person after many tries, but it's usually not the first try. Sometimes it is, actually. It does happen. But a lot of the time it isn't. So it is a logical fear in the sense of, like, you know, you're afraid of falling in love with someone because the chance is just really high that that relationship is going to fail and that you're going to break up, because statistically speaking, that is the case. Can't be denied. And so I can't lie to you. The reality of it is that most relationships fail. And presumably you recognize that reality and you're sort of afraid of it. But the thing is, even though that is a thing that happens, and even though it can be quite painful, it is also a part of life that is very necessary, and that will benefit you in the long term. And so it's a tough pill to swallow, that a lot of your relationships might fail, but it's better to be someone who gets in relationships, and then they fail, and then you have to recover from that and find other things. It's better to do that than to never try and to never be in a relationship ever. Because then that side of yourself will never develop, you'll never experience that side of life, and you'll never even have a chance of finding someone that's right for you. And so, you know, I can't sugarcoat it and act like things are like gonna be perfect if you do decide to date. But what you have to remember is, you know, there's you gain so much more by doing that. And so, you know, it's a tough situation because obviously, you know, heartbreak never feels good. But, you know, it's still worth trying. And if there is someone out there that's right for you, you need to be able to find them. And it's possible that you'll only find that person if you give people, like, a chance, you know? Because you've said you've met amazing guys. That doesn't mean that... And you said, you know, you're afraid, and so you reject them, even though they're amazing and you find them attractive and you'd love to be with them. You know, one of those people might actually be the right person for you. But now you'll never know. And so, yes, you're afraid of heartbreak and bad things happening. But I think you should also be afraid of not finding the person who's right for you. The person who is right for you does exist, you know? Someone that you'd have a very long and happy life with. But if you allow your fear of this kind of thing to stop you from ever seeking that or accepting that, you'll miss out on that. And I think you ought to be a little more afraid of missing out on that, because that would be a real shame. So, that's all I have to say, I guess. You know, life's a risk, it's a gamble. And at the end of the day, even if a relationship goes bad, you always gain something from it. You always gain something. You always come out of it more, as a more formed person. And there is a chance that it'll work out. Very much so. Because sometimes, some people actually do succeed first time. You know, they like marry their freaking high school sweetheart, you know, they end up marrying their first relationship. That does happen. It's not as common, but it does happen. Part of the reason why most relationships fail is kind of because of, like, people are just bad at making decisions, and they, like, date people that aren't really that right for them, because they're just they're just desperate to find a relationship, and they sort of settle. Or they, like, do freaking, like, Tinder dating or something. Or and then they end up dating people who are, like, actually, like, crappy people, and they look past the crappiness because they got rose-tinted glasses on. You know, that's not good either. But if you find someone and they're genuinely, like, a really awesome person, and you'd love to be with them, you know, you should definitely give that a chance. Anyway, let me catch up on chat. Too innocent for this chat? Yeah, probably. The truth is I'm really picky as well. Yeah. No, I get that. I understand that. But you mentioned you found amazing guys as well, though. So, like, if you do find an amazing guy, then, you know, maybe give it a try. Better to have loved and lost than to have never loved at all. Yeah, exactly. I'd say that's true. If a guy is a Spanish speaker, is an instant turnoff for me? Really? So I have to find my soulmate while traveling. Damn. I see. Yeah, I mean, you could move to other places. Yeah, I guess that does make it more difficult, huh? Yeah, and I understand it's not always like a choice, right? Some people would just say, oh, you should just lower your standards. Obviously, you should if you can. However, it's not necessarily always a choice what you're attracted to, you know? It's, you know... It's just, But yeah, interesting, you're put off by Spanish speaking, really? I don't like how men are here in my culture almost known as loyal. Just like one in a million. Also many other reasons. I see. I don't know how true or false that is, because I've never really, I'm not super informed on, like, your culture or whatever. However, if I were to agree with you, I would sound so racist. But, like, you're able to say it because, like, it's your own culture. Yeah, any idea of how many guys with a partner have flirted with me and stalked me? Oh, jeez. It sounds like House MD music, really. Walking home right now, hope you're having a good day. I am. Hope you are having a good day too, Riley. Hope it all goes good for you. Alright, well, next answer. What would you do with your final month? I would pull out all my money and invest it in either an RV or a nice trailer and start driving out to where all my online friends slash cool people I would like to hang out with are. Including you too, Exhibit. Ah, hell yeah. And spend at least a good chunk of the day with them with whatever they enjoy doing the most, leaving them with a good memory that they won't forget. Before, on the final day, picking out where I would like to have my body taken care of, and very nice looking urns, mind you. I've always liked the idea of being cremated by spreading out my ashes amongst my closest friends or relatives. That way, say one friend wants to use my ashes to grow a certain plant and smoke me, or another friend wants to use my ashes in a resin art as painting. That way I'm spread amongst my fellow kin in both in spirit and creativity. Written by Belle the Book Beast. Interesting, interesting. And yes, most certainly, if you're ever going to die, you can come out and we can hang out or something. And yes, I will happily take your ashes, Belle. I will take your ashes, and I will... I don't know. I don't know what people do with ashes. I'll fucking make a painting with it or something. I don't know. I don't know. I'll make like coffee with it. I'll make coffee with it and like drink. You know, yum yum yum. Anyway. Dated a German guy. He was amazing. Okay, so you have dated before. So I got a week left to live. Can I go over and say hi? Yeah, only if you're gonna die. Listen, it's like, here are the rules, right? You can meet me if you're gonna die, right? So, if you're going to die, you can just threaten suicide and then you can like meet me. Basically, that's how it works. Pretty sure Tupac had his ashes smoked by his homies. Interesting, yeah. But yes. Yeah, smoking someone's ashes would be crazy. Would be crazy. What would you do with your final month? If I only had a month left to live, I think the main difference in how I'd go about things would be spending significantly more money on those around me. If I had any savings, I'd break into it and try to figure out the best way to spend it, which would generate positivity from as many people as possible. I'm sure I would spend a decent amount of time lamenting everything I wanted to do but didn't get to do. But mostly I would just focus on entirely spreading love and making art. I'd have asked all my friends what stuff of mine they want to have and find the best home possible for my beloved cats. I would try to meet as many of my online friends as possible and try to give everyone something to remember me by. I'd make as many jokes as possible like, hey, better enjoy my company while you can, and gather my closest friends to get into my apocalypse stash of hallucinogens. If I knew the exact time of death, I would hold a party so I could go out surrounded by joyful noises of my loved ones. If I could think of something epic, I'd do some kind of prank for the moment of death. Never watched the last episode of anything because I don't like the thought of something being over. So I'd have a day of watch party to finally see them all. I'd obligate everyone to catch up with me in the next life, and I'd try to write a decent autobiography. I'd eat all the food and give everyone my best recipes. I'd set something up to make sure everything I pay for monthly for others would still be covered for as long as possible, like Mude and Premium Neopets and my Patreons. I'd reach out to all my favorite creators, people who inspire me, and try to meet or speak to as many as I can to tell them how they positively impacted my life. It would be really important to me to make sure everyone in my life understands how much they mean to me. I want cuddle puddles every night. I take pictures with everyone I can, even strangers on the street. I do a lot of graffiti. I really already try to live in a way that minimizes regret were I to die at any minute. And once I'm past tense, I'd like to donate all the organs then for my body to be fired out of a cannon. Then the remains to be made into art and trinkets to be passed out to all my friends. Don't forget to like the video for the algorithm. Written by Take a Guess, Winky Face. Yes, I know it's you, Toy. I know it's you. Your vibes written all over this. Yeah. Interesting. Shoot your freaking organs out of a cannon? You I thought you would have just like donated them to like people who like maybe need the organs. No, you just want to fucking fire them out of a cannon. But yeah, it seems like you just go all out and try to meet all the cool people and cuddle people. But it seems like you wouldn't actually tell your friends you're gonna die. You'd leave it more as a surprise. Which is interesting, because I think most people wouldn't take that approach. But you wouldn't tell them. But then you said you'd want to be surrounded by everyone, like, at the time that you die, like, in the party. Wouldn't that kind of traumatize everyone, though? Because from their point of view, they're partying with you and having fun with you, but then suddenly you just collapse and die. And they won't know why. That might be a little traumatizing. But then you'd be having fun. You'd be having a good time. And then, but yeah, and you said you want to, if anything, play like a fucking prank on them. Like, I guess the kind of prank you're thinking of is like, I don't know, sending like a friend, or sending all of your friends something like, oh, repost this message or I will die. And then they're like, no way that'll happen. And then the next morning you fucking die. I feel like that'd be pretty funny. But it would also fucking make them so guilty. So I don't know if that's a good idea. Could you please reread it? I just missed it. Which one? It's a bit long. Can't really reread it. Yeah, I can't really reread it. If you want, Tedia, I can just message you the message. Or... yeah. I'm just gonna message it to you, I think, yeah. Here's I'm messaging you the screenshot of the answer, because I think you seem to want to see it. Alright. Yeah, I already sent it to Tedia. Alright. Yeah, alright, I'm moving along. Wait, yeah, I've already... I like how you prioritize, like, making sure fucking Mude gets paid for us. Over all the things that you could be caring about. But fair enough. But yeah, moving along, because I need to... I'm going to try to get through these quickly. Because I'm feeling a little on the tireder side, and I want to have time to do all sorts of things. What would you do with your final month? For once in my life, I'd be pretty distraught if I only had a month left to live, since I have many goals and dreams I now want to achieve, and believe that I can, which will take more than just a month. That being said, if I did only have 1 month left to live, I honestly would probably not want to spend it grinding out something impressive or meaningful, and would likely just rather live my last days with those I love and doing the things that I love. It would be too much for me. It would not feel worthwhile to try and accomplish something notable, since that would be a lot of hard work for something that doesn't really matter once I'm gone. No name given. Anonymous. Yeah, no, that's totally fair. I think if you're going to die, it makes sense to not like work hard on anything, just to relax and enjoy yourself. I think that makes sense. You know, life is meant to be enjoyed, and you've only got a few more days now to enjoy that life, so it makes sense to prioritize that. I would not want to be doing any work once I'm dead, okay? I don't want any of that shit. Alright, well... whoops. Alright. Next one. What do you do if you had a month left to live? Goon to 2B, Brother Near, and Armin R. Lart. And then 200 emojis. No name written. Is this you, salad? It's either salad or spider guy. It could be either of them, because... yeah, the two of you are very... yeah, see, the two of you fucking agreeing with this. That person's based. Yeah, it was probably just fucking... it might have been you. It's probably you, Spider. I feel like it's you. It was either one of you guys. Hello, ladies. What did I miss? You missed most of the questions so far, but I'm trying to go through these quickly so I can have time to relax afterwards, because this is my first day of work today. I had to be doing wages. It's me, what the fuck, no one else taking 2B from me. Yeah, okay, see, you're claiming your spot. But yes, hello, Thomas. Alright, next one. What do you do with your final month? If I only had 1 month left to live, I'd be smashing bitches left and right. All day, all night. Just me and my gorgeous girl box having the most epic time possible till they haul me off to the junkyard. No regrets. Written by Truck Coon. Yeah. You do love to be smashing bitches. I love to be smashing bitches. Indeed. That'd be very epic. What do you do with your final month? I have a crazy hashtag epic story I've been crafting in my head, and I'd low-key try to write down everything I have in terms of the general narrative and ship it off to writers so that maybe one day it'd be adapted into an actual novel or series for people to consume. Written by Spider Guy. Yeah, that's actually kind of based. You got like a cool story in your head, and you'd just take the chance to actually put it out there. But you know, guess what? Guess what? Even though you're not dying, you should still do that. Because you never know. You never know when you're going to die. You could die tomorrow. You could get run over by a car. You could get cancer. You could get AIDS. Alright, you could get ligma. Alright, there's so many things that could happen to you. You should live every day like it's your last. So just do it. Do it. Don't just wait until you have no time left. Do it now. And you can enjoy the benefits of having written an awesome story, and you get to feel good about yourself. And you get to hear people compliment you for it, and you know, that's a lot better. Don't just let it be a what if. People are always like, oh, if things were different, I'd do this. Oh, if this happened, then I'd do this. It's like, no. People always say that. People always say that, but then they just never do it whenever things change, and it's like, no, you should do it now. You should do it. If you want to do it, if it would make you happy, you should do it. You should push yourself. I think it would make you happy. Spider's ligma is 1 minute to live. No! Wage slave? No way. You're one to talk, freaking fry cook, man. That's a little mean. I'm sorry. No, but we're definitely, you're also a wage slave, so we're both in this. I really want to visit Austria someday since I'm part Austrian due to my dad's side of the family. Yeah, I think I remember seeing that in yours. I'm gonna die soon. No, Spider! But yeah, write your story, Spider. Write your story. No longer fry cook, we know this. I'm a B student. Oh, okay. Ooh. Alright. Next answer. What you would do with your final month? I'd probably ignore it and go on like normal till the final week or so, which would be spent with family. Go on like normal, really? I feel like that's not... There's no name attached to this. I feel like that's dumb. If it's your final week alive, you need to live it to the fullest. You need to do all the things you've been missing out on. You need to, like... This is your chance to, like, do things, because when you know you're gonna die, when you know your time is limited, that's whenever you become the best at utilizing your time. When it's limited. It pushes you to do that. So you should take that chance to live your best life. Not just live it like normal, bro. Nah, nah, nah. Unbased. I'll write my story someday? Yeah, you'd better. What do you do with your final month? Okay. This is how is how to survive the end of the world even if the DM says everyone dies. Pay close attention. First, get a loan of $1 from a bank, then go spend the rest of your life having fun and doing whatever you want. Now, the trick in most loan contracts with banks, it says you have to pay the money back before you die. So if you should die, you can't, because the contract with the bank says you have to pay back your loan first, written by Utopia. Oh my god, that's genius! No, that's genius, because, like, if you took a loan out, you have to pay it back before you die. So then you can't die, because you haven't paid it back yet. Oh, that's genius. Oh, but that's illegal. It's illegal to never pay it back. So that's, maybe, I don't think you can do that. It's illegal. I have to head out right now, but y'all have a good rest of the stream. Alright, see you around, Spider Guy. Well, it seems you've reached a good audience. I have to handle my personal objectives now. Alright, see you around, Graham. See you around. Alright, next answer. What you would do with your final month? A whole lot of fucking. Real. No name attached, but it seems like a lot of people agree with that, and it's like, yeah. Yeah, definitely. I'd want to be doing that too. I'd very much want to be doing that. Alright? Bro, if I'm dying, the fucking Exhibit A orgy is happening, okay? Anyway. Next response. What you would do with your final month. Complete the bucket list that me and my partner made, and after that, on my last day, I would tell him it will be all okay as I sit on the edge of a cliff admiring the sunset, written by Zana. Yeah, bucket lists. A lot of people make bucket lists. But yeah, the two of you can definitely do all that stuff together. It would probably be very sad for him, seeing you die and all that. I think most loan contracts have provisions for what happens if you die. Oh, fuck, then it won't work. Damn it. Oh, Exhibit A, orgy, do you mean Autism Awareness Convention? Yeah, basically. Basically. Alright, next answer. What you would do with your final month? Moke weed, play game. No name attached. True. Probably a good thing to do. Next answer, this is the last one. What you do with your final month? I would go to Center Parks for a week, Hopton for a week. Feel free to look up the place, it's amazing. It's my 20th year going there. And on my final week, I would spend it in the creator of Winnie the Pooh's house whilst exploring the 100-acre wood and having tea from the Winnie the Pooh head teapot. And on my final day, I would find spot in the 100-acre woods, which would be where my ashes will lay. Written by Zana. She wrote quite a few this time. Hopton. Let's look at Hopton, guys. Look at Hopton. Hopton. Oh, that does look pretty. Yeah. That'd be a nice place to live in your final moments. Very pretty. Yeah, cool. Alright. Well. Guys, that is the last answer that has been written. So we're going to be finishing off soon. And, I am sorry that this stream is shorter than a lot of my other Menhera Monday streams. But, as I said, as I announced yesterday, you know, there's a chance that this would happen, you know, or that I may not do it as long and things like that. I'm not sure how well my streaming will go from here on out because, you know, work does affect how energetic I am during the streams, and like I also want time to do other things in the day because I really value my free time now. But we just need to figure it out as we go along. Anyway, this has still been a very cool stream. Maybe move it to weekends? Yeah, I have thought about that. The only issue would be I couldn't call it Menhera Monday anymore. I have thought about moving it to weekends. It might be better. But then, if I'm only doing one stream a week on the weekend, that's still not good. I'd have to still stream a little bit during the week. to keep up everything. But it's also possible that over time I'll adjust and I'll get more energetic during the streams again. So yeah, I might get used to it. So we'll find out. Thank you all for being here. I hope it's not too big of a bother that it's a bit shorter now. But right for like this time. But I hope it was still very fun and cool. You can still call it whatever you want. I can't call it Menhera Monday if it's on Saturday. This doesn't work. But yeah, thank you all for being here. It's been awesome, it's been fun. And without further ado, I will see you in the next stream. Bye-bye.